Wednesday edition of the Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and joined by Mark Olmos. Mark, another big 8 races to take a look at Ascot.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Chris Parnham, of course, rode 4 winners last week. He'll be looking to repeat that kind of form here on this Wednesday. And we know how good the strike rate of Neville Parnham is at the moment on Wednesday races. So really looking forward to the card. A few Cerise and White runners coming through as well.
Let's take a look at the conditions that we are going to be faced with. The movable rail is out 12 metres. Expecting some light breezes again, but another very good day for racing. So we'll get straight into it. Race number 1, it's over the 1,400 metres.
Yes, and we'll go straight into the replay horse, Adam. It is, of course, the Paula Wag trained Mr. Albi, running second last start at Pinjarra.
Aiming Pro, Speedy Justice back on the inside, followed by Midnight Drama, then Destined for Fame. Mr. Albi's well back at the 200. Nickelodeon had hit the front. Speedy Justice coming again in the middle, and now Mr. Albi is starting to put his mind on the job. Nickelodeon in front. Mr. Albi is starting to charge, but Nickelodeon's got a break, and Nickelodeon beat Mr. Albi.
This is a nice type. This 3-year-old gelding's been attacking the line strongly and is really just showing a lot of power through the late efforts of the final 100, 200 metres as well. Now, last start was withdrawn because it slipped in the stall, so you don't need to worry about any other reasons for that as well. But I think the form lines here are good enough. Just a bit of a question mark of how far back this horse gets. And again, I think conditions are going to be suiting those ones that are more forward.
I totally agree with you. We've seen that the last couple of meetings at Ascot, you want to be near the speed or right on top of it, which is why I like Trade Search here. Number 4, the Ted Martinovich trained galloper. We saw Sean McGrady have a lot of success in these colours. Lucy May in the Magic Millions 2-year-old race a couple of weeks ago at Pinjarra. Look, this galloper does have to contend with barrier 13, but again, like you said, will be forward and up there, and I expect a positive ride and should be one of the ones to catch.
There's a lot of horses coming from this My Kind of Music form lines in this race as well, and I'm with you. I think Trade Search is going to run a really good race. I'm not worried about barrier 13. I think they'll adapt and will push forward and be able to sit outside the leader and be in that nice position. And from there as well, you have to take a lot of confidence that they drop back from the 15 to the 14. So I think a big positive there, but could be Queen, another horse that comes out of that same race as well. And we've just seen that Chris Parnham, you mentioned his 4 winners last Wednesday, that he's been adapting to the scenario and the situations out there as well. So I'd expect him to try and push forward from barrier 12 too. So I'm happy to put her on top for those reasons. From number 4, Trade Search, number 7, Clever Dick, and number 11, Lummerline.
I'm going with number 4 on top here, Trade Search. From the 2, Cayman Bound, 1, Boca Up Lad, and 8, Mr. Albi.
Race number 2 at Ascot is an event over the 1,200 metres for the 2-year-olds, and I think this is a pretty good race, Mark.
Yeah, pretty handy Wednesday 2-year-old race is this one, Adam. The replay horse we're going to have a look at, though, is number 2, Debilatio.
With them for home at the 302, clear of Akinar Star. A similar margin, Cool Intrigue, followed by Debilatio. Colourful Charade, though, still led at the 150-metre mark. Akinar Star trying to run him down, and he's closing in. Akinar Star reigns to Colourful Charade, hit the lead, too good for them, and makes it 2 out of 2.
Interesting runner, this one, isn't it? We know that definitely has the X factor, but still does so much wrong. Been sent back to the trial since, and what I liked was the clear intention there of Daniel Stage. Just absolutely pushed out of the barriers. Was under hard riding from the start for the first 150. Then they just cruised over the line. There was clear intent of just, we are going to get out of these barriers and ensure that we're getting on speed. And now I think if they do that on race day, I think the horse wins.
Yeah, look, it has to be noted as well, though, this horse does have some issues out of the barrier. We've seen it in the first 2 trials. We saw it at the race start when the inside draw on that occasion running 3rd on the replay we just saw. But the recent trial as well, Adam, was a 400-metre trial. I watched it a few times and very closely. He still wants to go a bit right-handed. Like you said, Daniel Stake did drive him out, but he still wants to go right-handed. So still be interesting to see how his barrier manners are and whether they're completely fixed or not. But this guy will be a much better 3-year-old over 1,600 metres. Everything he does now is a bonus, but he should be one of the main chances for this race.
Yeah, I don't think you can be confident that he's fixed, can
No,
you?
you can't. We'll have to see on Wednesday, though. Number 1, Turbo Power. Really like this guy at 30 to 1 in the Magic Millions race. He was running on very strongly. This race here over 1,200 metres, again, looks to suit, but I've got a lot of time for this guy, and I think he might be one that sneaks under the radar.
Well, it's a mile weaker race, isn't it, as well? That's the big thing to take note here. And as you said, for a debut or first up run for this prep, it was a really strong performance attacking the line. Was only beaten 2.8 lengths in the end and did have that wide barrier. They jumped from barrier 2 here. Again, another colt. I think they can sit right there on the speed this time.
We've also got Royal Strata, which returns here for Paul Jordan. Blinkers come off. I still think they'll lead. I was really taken by its performance at 30 to 1. It was a few starts ago. It led into that strong headwind that day, and Lob City and a few of the other back markers came around it, and Lob City won on that occasion. But Royal Strata hung on for second when the Simon Miller Frost Giant galloper actually faded quite badly, Shanty Giant. So look, I think there's a lot of talent there, and I think it can run a nice race, and I've actually got it on top.
I found Royal Strata really hard to analyse. 1,000 metres, I probably have it on top here. Then, as you mentioned, the run of the 1100 was good, and you look at Chantilly Giant, really disappointing that run, but then it was disappointing the next time it went out as well. So you start questioning, was that just a weaker animal compared to this? I really like the trial. The tongue tie's off, the blinkers are off as well, so there's a couple of positives there. But I'm going to go with number 2, Devilace. I just think we're going to see that improvement in the X Factor come out. From number 3, Rajkovic, it'll be running on very strongly. Number 10, Kiss Bang Love, and 1, Turbo Power.
Number 8 goes on top for me, Royal Strata. I think they'll lead them a merry dance. From the 1, Turbo Power, 2, Devilace, and 3, Rajkovic.
Race 3 at Ascot is over the 2,200 metres, and Mark, we liked the Cornella of the day last week. It occurred, and I think it could happen again this week.
It certainly could here with Let's Twist and Blustery, of course, we speak of. Blustery ended up getting the win. Let's have a look at it.
Superman, but Blustery burned them off and raced a length and a half clear from Let's Twist. Spondula, Roll on John, further back, Dagalad makes up ground, but Blustery clear of Let's Twist when they go by the 100, wanting to shift a bit of ground. Blustery clear of Let's Twist in the run to the line and comes away. Blustery, too good, beat Let's Twist in the Quinella for the day.
I think it was mentioned throughout the call, maybe even earlier on from what we saw in that replay there, about the move of Brad Parnham and the time that he did it as well. He was very aware, and he mentioned post-race that Let's Twist has got a nice kick late and continue to move. So he started rolling quite early in the race and put himself in a winning position at the top of the straight. Now with that weight difference, she was able to kick down the straight and put in a good win and end up getting the job done by 1.5 lengths. Now we do see Let's Twist meet her 1 kilo better here, but the track and distance record for Blustery is very impressive here at Ascot. 7 attempts, 2 victories and 4 placings. I think she can win again.
Of course, trained on the track, but hasn't she been racing in outstanding form? The Harveys are absolutely flying at the moment, but Let's Twist as well. She carries the top weight here. She can definitely do it and win. Of course, closely related to Boban, 5-time Group 1 winner over East with Chris Waller. But you just have a look at the efforts there. 58 kilos here. She's a grinder and she keeps fighting towards the line. Even last start behind Blustery, she probably should have been beaten by about 3 or 4 lengths. She kept finding along the inside. Probably wasn't the place to be either. I really like her chances here again.
Yeah, the last 100 metres was really impressive in that race, and I think there's a bit more speed in this as well, so it won't have to be sitting as close, which I think is going to suit. So I think it's a race between those two again. I'm going to go with 4 Blustery, from 3 Let's Twist, 1 Battle Talk, and number 8 Election.
I've got the 3 on top, Let's Twist. From number 8 Election, loved its last start effort, 1 Battle Talk, and 4 Blustery.
Race number 4 at Ascot is an event for the 3-year-olds over the 1,500 metres, and Mark, we've seen these 3-year-old races be so competitive, and again this is the case for a midweek.
It really is. We've got the likes of Malfi Mass and Just Like Fire. These will be heading towards Oaks and Derby preparations. Look, really looking forward to seeing this race, but we'll have a look at the replay of Just Like Fire running 3rd.
Here at the 350, General Husson kicked a length and a half in front. Gangbuster letting down, Just Like Fire making ground deep out. Gangbuster though raced up, hit the front from General Husson, Just Like Fire, Master Magician. Then came My Grace, Gangbuster, General Husson coming back tooth and nail though. Gangbuster and on the inside.
A good effort there by Just Like Fire first up. Sean O'Donnell, even that last sort of 50 metres, he wasn't really riding out. He knew he wasn't going to win the race, and it was just a nice first up performance. You go back to last prep, of course, finishing 4th in the Group 3 champion fillies. I just like the way this horse attacks the line. Look, again, we've seen you want to be in forward positions, but she showed in that replay that she can start rolling early, attack the line, second up fitness. I think there's big positive. She's in for a massive prep.
We've seen the form line's been franked out of that race as well. Of course, General Husson won, and the second horse, Gangbuster, ran a cracking race in the Challenge Stakes. So the form's certainly there, and this filly looks to have a lot of ability. Watch for her. The other one there, number 8, Amalfi Lass, they were both in the same maiden last year. Just Like Fire ended up winning on that occasion, but Amalfi Lass then came out, broke a maiden in a Class 1 against the older horses. So suggests that both fillies have a little bit of class and a fair bit to go.
Yeah, and they both returned in the same sort of manner. I thought the effort there by Amalfi Lass was very impressive behind Amelia Moo, which again raced a nice race in the Challenge Stakes too. So the form lines are good there. The horse came in with no trial as well. Second up, Chris Parnham riding as well as anybody at the moment as well. So I think it's a race between those two, Mark.
I'd have to agree, Adam. Your selections?
I'm going to go with number 9, Just Like Fire, from 8 Amalfi Lass, 3 Shibuya Crossing, and 1 Kingdom and Empire.
9 on top for me as well, Just Like Fire, from 8 Amalfi Lass, 10 Luna Rossa, and 3 Shibuya Crossing.